Hi, my name is Sam, and I almost quit Path of Exile 2. Here's what happened. So I'm a beginner to Path of Exile as a series in general, and I was super excited about the game. I was super excited about the new universe and experiencing this new action RPG that I've never experienced before, other than maybe 40 minutes in Path of Exile. I just hadn't given it any time. And I was super excited about Path of Exile 2 because I watched the trailer, and some of you may have seen that video, and I watched it and I was pumped. The content looked amazing. Everything looked so good, and I was hyped up. I maybe a little bit too much off the start, but understandably so. I think Path of Exile 2 is a great game. So, I usually pick melee classes when I play action RPGs, just because I like how brutal and smashy they feel. So I went with warrior, and that was probably the worst decision I could have made. I didn't know that, but warrior right now in the game, there's mixed opinions on it. I know in my last video where I said I'm about to quit Path of Exile 2, and hundreds of you commented, giving various opinions on whether warrior was good, whether it was my skill issue and I was just trash, whether or not I should just quit altogether or just try a different class. There was definitely a lot of opinions, and I definitely appreciated hearing from all of you and would love to continue to hear from all of you, of course. But end of the day, I made the decision to, as you're watching this gameplay now, to try out the Ranger class. And you know what? I chose Ranger because, I looked over some builds on some of the most popular build sites. Witch looked okay, and I was almost going to do Witch because Kripparrian, I'm a big fan of Kripparrian. I watched Kripparrian back when he was, when Diablo 3 first released, and he did the first hardcore kill of Diablo. And so I almost picked it because I like Kripparrian, so I almost picked Witch for that reason. But instead I went with the Ranger. So basically the build that I'm doing here is like Ashe from League of Legends on steroids. You just get to ult every 2 seconds or whatever, and your arrow just freezes packs and they explode. And combine that with some lightning damage, and there you go. This is the build. But all that to say is that it took me a second to get here. It took me a while to get to this point. I had put 40 to 50 hours into my warrior, and I was frustrated, man. I hadn't really followed any build guide up to that point, and that was one of my biggest mistakes. I think for beginners who are just coming into this game, following a build guide from experienced Path of Exile players, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think in order to see more of the game, to see more of the content that this game has to offer, following a build guide is a strategic decision. And that's what I ended up, doing. I followed a build guide, one of the top build guides for this lightning arrow build, and it's been working for me. You're watching me just blaze through Act 3 Cruel right now, and I eventually downed the boss in Act 3, and this build just decimates elite packs and bosses. It's pretty insane. One of the things that I've learned along the way is that it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to be humbled and be like, yeah, I'm not very good at this game. One thing that I'm kind of contrary to is, a lot of the comments on this last video were, this is a skill issue. I don't agree with you. I'm pretty good at games. I'm decent at the games that I do play, and I like to be good at them. The situation with my specific build was that, in fact, I did not have a lot going for me. And the warrior is not in a great state for newer players. And, the simple fact of the matter is that if I could switch to a different class and immediately just blast through the content, I don't, the issue of it being a skill issue, I don't know. Maybe the class is, super easy, or maybe, I don't know. I just don't agree. I think there's a lot of other factors that are in the issue rather than just being a pure skill issue on my part. If you want to go into the fact that, well, it's a all encapsulating and, yada, 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 of course it's a skill issue. You just have to look at the game as a whole. Okay, fine, you win. But honestly, the fact of the matter, I switched classes and I was blasting the content and having such a great time. Also, here in this content, in this video, you're seeing me try my first map, just a simple tier 1 Waystone. I think my gear isn't great in this one. I get all the way to the end, to the last rare, and I die. So, welcome to endgame. That was kind of my first experience. But the difference here was that I didn't get frustrated by that. I play grindy games, and I'm pretty open to grinding on gameplay and getting those levels and making those numbers go up. But there's just some aspects about how Warrior was playing and how everything about it was just not in a great state for a beginner. And I want to talk about the main reason that I didn't quit this game. I kind of put that video out as a little bit of like, I was a little frustrated. I kind of had a plan that I was going to keep trying my other classes, but Christmas was around the corner. I knew I was going to take a few days off and just kind of see what I thought after that. But what happened after I posted that video is that this community came around that video and basically encouraged me, the majority of you encouraged me not to give up, to try it out again, and basically gave me as much tips. Some people even going as far as to write full-on write-ups on how to get better. And it just blew me away, your guys' response. And so the main thing that kept me from quitting this game was this community, was you guys, was the people watching this video. And not only that, the people in game. I've asked multiple times in global, and I've just been humble. I've just been like, hey, I don't know what this means. I'm brand new here. I'm really sorry. Does anybody have any time to just kind of explain to me? Like, one of the things was when I first got to endgame, bro, I didn't know where my hideout map button was. Like, I had gone to another act to check that if I had done the spirit boss or whatever it was, and I couldn't get back to my hideout, so I had to go to trade chat and be like, this is a dumb question, but can you guys tell me where my hideout button is? And somebody's like, oh yeah, it's on the right of your map. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. But the point is that this community has been nothing but welcoming to me. The majority of the community, obviously, you're always going to get those toxic Andes in there. But I think what really kept me going and what really drew me back in was the people that are playing this game, how passionate they are and how passionate you are. And it made me want to try it again. It made me want to see what this thing is all about. Why has this game gripped so many minds, and why are people so passionate about talking about it? And I'm starting to get it. I'm really starting to understand, like, oh, I get it. Just last night I was having such a great time. Basically, I turned on some rave music. I was in one of those moods, and I basically jammed some maps over and over. I wasn't really like super, hardcore about it or anything, but progressing super casually and just having a great time. It was a great game, and I understood, like, hey, this is it. This is what it is. And I kind of started to understand why people are so passionate about this game. So yeah, I almost quit, but the reason I came back was for the community. It really is something special, and you guys thank you so much for all your kind comments and tips and tricks, and thank you even to the trolls. I appreciate each one of you for the engagement. But I really want to keep making these videos for you guys and hang out with you guys. It really is special, and it's special to be part of something like this. So thank you so much for all those comments and everything that you gave me, tips and tricks and all of that. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I pretty much am going to push the end game with this ranger as far as I can. And then I think I want to try Witch out. I think I really want to try that Witch Summoner build out. That looks really cool. I don't know if my graphics card can handle that right now, or my CPU. I literally had to download a CPU handler that would limit my CPU so my game would stop crashing. And it's been working okay. So I worked through some issues there. So that was also from a comment from you guys. So thank you so much for dropping those comments in. Anyways, I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm really grateful for you, all of you who commented on that last video, who are subscribed. And if you aren't subscribed and you like this content, please go ahead and drop a subscribe and a like. I would love to have you guys join me. I always want to interact with you. If you have something to say, put it in a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'm always do my best to respond to comments and all of that. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you in the next one.